Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Frank Granett, he's a regular contributor on The Price of Business. He's partner, his organization, Coalition Against Over-Medicating Our Youth, with The Price of Business, and creating what we call, what I think is a great name, by the way, developed by Frank, The Price of ADHD Business. And we talk about the impact that drugs and medications are having on our youth. We've been doing a fabulous series, and we continue to do a fabulous series of interviews on this timely topic. Frank, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Kevin, great to be on again, and things are going great across the country. In the United States, we have professionals now that are totally engaged with helping families and adults, their own families, find the root cause of ADHD-like symptoms before they go to that premature drug use, especially in the young child population. And today is no different, Kevin. We have a great speaker. He's a public speaker for the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, which is the largest watchdog group for psychiatric industry. He's Harvard educated. He has right now the single largest organic and natural health resources on the internet. And Dr. Edward Group from Texas, Houston, Texas, in your neck of the woods, Kevin. And Dr. Group, thanks for being on our program today.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Dr. Group, why don't you start off with your elevator speech, if you will?
Okay, well, I mean, I really got into, I was trained allopathically and really wanted to be a heart surgeon, but I got into the natural because both of my parents died of cancer when I was young, so I really set out to find the root cause of disease and met a guy who was treating cancer naturally at the time, and so he basically asked me a question. He said, do pharmaceuticals work to treat and cure disease? And I said, well, yeah, that's what we've been taught. So he challenged me to go to the library and break down the pharmaceuticals, and I did, and I realized that those are going to change something in the system, but the root cause of the illness or the problem might still be there. So at that time, I put together a little research group and devoted all my time to finding the root cause of all illness, whether it's mental illness, whether it's cancer, whether it's degenerative disease. And then the rest just took off after that. So that's what led me to where I am today.
Okay, very good. Frank?
And Dr. Group, what you just talked about, the root cause of illness, any illness, whether it's cardiovascular disease, cancer, et cetera. So when we talk about ADHD-like symptoms, and what you just described is we have to go to that root cause. And, when we talk about nutritional causes, environmental, as well as physiology, what do you think's wrong with the industry now? And, is traditional medicine coming closer with functional medicine? In other words, are they realizing that they have to kind of more unite to help find the causes versus going right to that, premature drug use?
Well, what we realize is that everybody has a self-healing mechanism, and everybody has the power to heal themselves. And we realize that the root cause of mental illness and all disease is too many toxins and chemicals causing a malfunction in the brain or causing a malfunction in the body. And I think that there are more medical practitioners moving in that direction just because people are not seeing the results that they're getting being medicated. And, parents are having their children being pressured to put their children on medication. And I think over time, parents are going to their doctors and saying, could it be something else? Is there something natural I can take because of the side effects that they're seeing with the medications that are supposed to fix the child's problem? So I think we are at a tipping point. We are making strides. We are educating the public. And that's one of the things that I feel is one of the most important things is educating people on the root cause of why you have ADHD, because of the chemicals in the air and the food and the water and the beverages they're consuming and the microbes or parasites and the stress they're under and the electromagnetic frequencies they're being exposed to. And I think that once people understand why they have the disease or the mental condition, then it's a lot easier to figure out how to treat that condition successfully.
By the way, just an incredible list of credentials that you bring to your practice, and I want to encourage the listener to learn more about it by going to globalhealth.com. globalhealingcenter.com. That's globalhealingcenter.com. And, of course, for Frank, CAOOY.org. Go ahead, Frank.
And, Dr. Group, you mentioned the electromagnetic forces, and now more than ever, I would say within the last few years, the smart meters. Explain to our listeners why you believe this is an issue, especially in a young child whose brain development is still going on, and that, with these meters and how that relates to the onset of ADHD-like symptoms and or, full-blown type of mental illness, why that is.
Well, that was actually one of the categories we looked at in our research to the root cause of disease and mental illness, and we found research showing that because kids' skulls are very thin, they're very susceptible to electromagnetic frequencies. And electromagnetic frequencies are bombarding us these days because we have cell phone towers everywhere. We have cellular phones, which even if they're in the presence of a cellular phone, they can be affected. Now we have appliances that emit frequencies, all this new technology, this smart technology, and especially with the installation of smart meters. And we didn't realize how bad it was until people started calling our office more and more over the last couple years and saying they couldn't figure out why their child was normal one day and then all of a sudden showing symptoms of nervousness, aggressiveness, non-motivation, headaches, ADD, ADHD. And then we started looking deeper into it and finding out that these are real. This is a real situation. It actually breaks the water molecules in your brain and in your body, and every living substance, every living entity is composed of at least 85% water. So it really has an effect not only on the water, but the brain because of all the electrical neurotransmitter function and all the neurological functioning in the brain tissue. So it alters that and can actually cause some of the symptoms of anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, and many other psychiatric-type labeled illnesses that, people are being prescribed medications for, and little do you know, it could be the smart meter outside your house.
Yeah, that's interesting. And people wonder about the water and body connection. All they need to do is go to an emergency room on a full moon night.
That's true.
So there's a real connection there with the power of water, being around 80% of our bodies, and obviously it's affecting our brains, our behavior, our chemical makeup, the whole nine yards. And so how we treat all of our body, our own ecosystem, if you will have a profound impact on how we think and how we feel.
No, and I think you're right, Kevin, where people are now becoming more educated on these dangers. And Dr. Group, what your group does is just phenomenal on the education side. And we're happy to have you on our program. And, Kevin, I want our listeners to understand on usdailyreview.com, we're going to have a couple articles coming out soon, very soon, from the National Institute of Mental Health as well as Dr. Group and the great work, that he's doing through his educational piece as well.
Awesome. With that, I'm going to ask you to wrap it up for us, Sarah Frank.
And, Dr. Group, it's great to have you on and keep doing what you're doing and spreading the message of getting the root cause of any illness, but especially on these ADHD topic in our young child population. Thanks for being on with us today.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a great segment, gentlemen. I do want to remind the listener, best content here will show up over there at usdailyreview.com. Plus, you'll find great columns by Frank. I hope you have a great rest of your day, gentlemen. Look forward to being back with the audience right here on The Price of Business.